even if I haven't met some of you, because I know how much it takes to devote your life to this business. It's a commission only business, and there really aren't very many people who can discipline themselves to handle something where they're not getting a definite salary every month. I know when we would interview people, Karen and I were running the company at one point, and we would interview people who wanted to come, and one of our most important questions was, do you have some way of supporting yourself until you make your first million or whatever? And that was something that people really needed to grapple with, and not something that we were going to hit them over the head with after they joined. It's something that all of us deal with on a daily basis. How are we going to make our money, and how are we going to promote ourselves and make this business that's so challenging at every time a real win for ourselves and our family and people that count on us? So making more money is just the bottom of the barrel kind of thing. The thing you really want to do is make yourself into somebody who actually loves what you're doing. And I know this sounds kind of Pollyannish, but I am a Pollyanna when it comes to this. I care about people deeply, and I discovered that at a very early age, what they're going through, what their interests are, and so forth. And I know that this may be old hat to many of you people who are listening today who have been doing this for years, but it takes strong discipline. It really takes discipline. It's a word that none of us really like, but discipline is the kind of thing I think that serves us all. And I mean, from the time we open our eyes, brush our teeth, take a shower, make the bed, do all of those mundane things. I know for myself, if I don't follow those kind of things so that I'm ready to go out into the world and do my job every day, and not so much recently out in the world, but certainly for most of my life, it's all about people and having a good time. I mean, this has been a challenge for me and my husband and my family. We want to hug each other. We want to do things. We want to have a few glasses of wine. We want to sing. We want to do all this. And we're doing it in a different way because we've been challenged, and we've had 3 or 4 months of quarantine for many of us. So what I just jotted down a few things that have been important to me, if that's okay, Jason, just a few things that have been important to me in building my career. And it's been a long one. So I think the most important thing I can say is that you have to engage with everyone that you meet. I think that New York is the perfect place to do this business because you meet a lot of people during the day. And you may not even realize it, but that person that you just said hello to and how are you doing might be the next person to recommend you to someone. And this is how the business makes it for you. This is how you make more money. This is how you make your life work. I've got many, many friends that I've met through the business. As Karen will tell you, my daughter, she is a perfect example of someone who came from a whole nother dimension. She's very talented when it comes to doing all of the little dotting I's and crossing T's on forms and learning about things. And she brought this into the business and has expanded her life as a result of that. So I just want to say that I think if you think of giving more of yourself, just think of that on a daily basis. Who am I going to give to today? And giving of yourself comes in so many forms. It's like, you know, if you have more knowledge and you get the knowledge because you've read a lot or you've educated yourself, that's one way. And giving professional advice comes from experience, and you need to get that experience just by life itself, telling the truth, having integrity, all of these basic things that every one of us really needs to have in our bag of tricks, I want to say, but it's not tricks. It's really what you need to have to succeed in any business, and especially in the real estate business. It's about people, and it's about giving your heart. I think that finding out everything you can find out is a good idea, and certainly everything you can find out about the neighborhood that you are working in is extremely important. These are basics. Finding out about the current financing, talking to your banker, and not just talking to your banker, but making a friend of your bankers so that he calls you and says, hey, we got this new product. Your mortgage broker as well will help you with all of those things. And many of you know this, but it doesn't hurt, I think, to just say, have a good time. The money comes from connections. It comes from education. It comes from knowledge. It comes from budgeting and doing good for people. I don't know, can you hear me, Jason?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think your camera,
okay,
you're back on, there you go.
Okay, I just got a call and I want to make sure that I'm just not talking to myself because I bore myself, but anyway. So doing good for people also, I'm sure all of us do this from time to time, but it doesn't hurt when you're walking down Broadway, as I did this morning, and saw all the boarded up buildings, all the boarded windows of stores that I used to go in, people that I knew. I realized how vital it is to connect. I always go to the little Greek place and have lunch at least once a week. And one of the owner's daughters is there, and she's a singer, and she's going to come to my next singing fest. It's that kind of thing. You can't imagine what good it does to find out and ask questions and find out and ask questions. That's been the whole thing that my life has been about. And I don't know any more to say to you than enjoy yourself and bring your heart to the table and speak to people, everyone. Don't judge people. Don't prejudge people, and just bring whatever it is that you have. So that's kind of it. Your money will flow, your commissions will come, and you will be on top of the world, I guarantee you. At my age, to still be saying these things is pretty amazing. So thanks all for listening.
Awesome, thank you so much. And again, especially for any of the agents at all, but especially the newer agents, I don't know if you have any questions for Suzanne, or again, I think I have one to start it off, just and again, if you've got a couple minutes, Suze. I guess my question would be, what do you think is going to happen in the next couple of weeks? Like, do you feel like there's pent up demand? Do you think people are going to be moving? What is your read of the market? So again, you've seen a lot of ups and downs.
I think that people are bored and anxious to get moving. I think they're going to feel even more anxious because they can't go in places. So right now, and they can't. It's like we've got big stop signs in front of us everywhere, and I think that we can't let ourselves be caught up in that kind of thing. We need to have that self-discipline to enjoy ourselves no matter what. The weather has been perfect, and the whole idea of getting outside again, I've been in my apartment for 3 months. I've been out 4 times, and it's a whole new world that you have to develop within yourself. So whatever the market does, you got to help it along. You got to help it along by being, I know it sounds boring, but be positive. Just let people know how excited you are. It's a good question, Jason, because some of us tend to say, oh, I do, and it's true. It takes a lot more right now, but just discipline yourself.
Awesome. Anyone else have any questions for Suze?
I'd like to know if anybody has tried this, has been doing this. I'd like to have your questions.
Yes, Donald has one, I think, Suze.
Hi, Donald.
Hi, Susan. First and foremost, thank you very much for your words of wisdom. They are very inspirational. My
Thank you.
question for you is, like you mentioned, please excuse my little
Oh,
boy.
no, I would love that. I'd love to hold that little thing.
My question is for you is, like you mentioned, this business is built off of relationships that you build over time. How do you handle those relationships when they cross over to the business side and they don't view you as a professional? Like, you're my friend, you're supposed to help me out. And when it comes time to have those hard conversations where, yes, I'm your friend, but this is my livelihood. You've been doing this for a while, so I'm assuming you've come across those situations before?
Yes, for sure. I can't tell you anything except don't be any different than you are. Do not think that this is a stop flow for you. Be very straightforward. I mean, that is the most important thing. With a friend that you've had for a long time, it's easy. You just say, listen, you know me. You know me, and you know that I'm going to do the best for you. And if I don't know it, I'll get the answers because I'm with people that will help me. We're in this together. And nobody is going to work better for you or more with more integrity. And if they don't get that, then move on. I don't know anything else to tell you, because do you know how many fish there are out in the sea?
True.
I mean, I haven't caught them lately, but I can honestly tell you that every day that I go out, I meet at least 3 new people. And some of them stick and some of them die. Cutie, hey, you cute little thing. So in any case, and I really mean that.
Okay, stop it, Justin.
Is your name Justin?
Yeah.
That's my grandson's name. Wow, so glad to
Hi,
meet you. Hi, sweetheart. You give your dad a hug and you tell him he's the best dad on the planet in this weekend. And you're going to do very well. I can tell by your smile. Your smile. Any other questions? I'm available. Just call me anytime. I've had a little experience.
I'll send out Suzanne's phone number and email in the chat box if anyone needs it. Again, just so you guys know, if you ever need anyone's number and stuff like that, you've got it. So,
I think Ellen just wrote something.
Ellen, do you want to say something? Okay. So
was kind of what to Donald, because I have a lot of friends who don't want to work with a friend. And one of them was basically, I would never do business with a friend. So I said to her, when you're ready to sell, I'll set up some appointments for you to meet other agents and I'll get a referral fee. And that made her really happy.
Oh, that's a good idea. Because a lot of people, for some reason, are discomfort with their personal information.
Sure.
You're my friend, so that's a great option too.
I mean, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. In this case, she was like, we're not ready to sell yet, but I'll remember that when we are.
Yeah.
That's great, Ellen.
Yeah. And then the nice thing about that too is that you can, again, I've had it happen too. Your best friend might not want you to see all their revenue financial information or all their bank accounts and whatnot. And so what I say is no problem. I can still help you find a place. You give me your price range, we'll do the pre-approval. And I have someone at my office who can do all the financial side. I don't need to look at anything. Or I'll just refer you to that person and again, keep it in-house and I can still make money off of having someone amazing help you. And that's works. Karen, you said you have something to say too?
Yeah, I would say that, hi, I don't know your name. The wonderful man with the baby.
Donald.
Oh, Donald.
Donald. Hi, Donald.
How you doing?
Yeah. Hi, Justin. Are you new to the business, Donald?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what I was going to say is when I first started, my very first client was a very good friend, and they had a desire to move. I think he had a job offer out of the city, and so they asked me to sell their apartment, and I was brand new to the business. So they asked me, but I remember my mom and I talked about it, and maybe she even told me what to say, but I personally didn't feel that confident. So what I said to them, and then this might apply to you, is I said, look, I'm new to the business, but I work with a team of people who are experienced. who've been in the business for a very long time. And I intend to get advice and help and team up with someone so that you should feel confident that I could do this for you, that I will get this job done. What I don't know, I will be, getting help with. Because it could be that, as opposed to they don't want to show your finances. They just are like, well, yeah, you just got into the business, and I want to crackerjack. I want a crackerjack person. And so sometimes what you do is do what's called like a listing presentation kind of thing. I don't know if it's they want you to sell it or they're looking to buy, but you would have a meeting with them, and you could bring, Suzanne or someone else who you've linked up with in the office. I'm sure Jason would go. And that way you're learning how to pitch, you're learning how to talk through awkward situations. I think the referral fee is a nice idea, but it kind of sounds to me like you're just all about the money. And sometimes it's not really about, my thing is, I've never made it about the money, and I've done really well because I make it about the relationship, telling the truth, and also not trying to say I'm the one with all the answers and I do this all myself.
Just be genuine. I like the message you said earlier. Can you repeat it one more time so I can write it down? But I get what you said.
We're recording this, so don't worry. You can watch it back.
I hope
Thank you very much. No, it did help tremendously, and it makes a lot of sense. It lets me come from a place of empathy, genuine, and they can understand and sympathize with my discomfort and know that I have their best interest in mind. So I like that idea too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And again, I think that this whole conversation is a great one, because we can see there are different ways of approaching a situation, and every friend will have a different thing. And again, we can always talk through it, and it's all about being open and being honest. Julie, you got a question?
Yeah, actually, hi Donna and hi Justin. It's Father's Day on Sunday, Justin. You gotta give your father some gifts. Are you ready for it, Justin?
So cute.
Yeah. So I just want to share something with you, with Donna and everyone. So I think everyone got to put a point on that, because I'm new, right? I just made my first deal with my friend, so it's not about the money. So for myself side, I set up my standard very low. I said I'm new to it. I have nothing to lose. I'm gonna spend time to help them out. If I can make a deal for them, that's good. If I don't, that's fine. I mean, I get a chance to practice myself, right?
Yeah.
So I told my friend, I said, don't worry. If you don't have to use me. You can use anyone who you think that's more experienced. But just to let you know, my company have all the expert, everything. They can help me anytime I want to have a question. I can bring anyone into the conversation as well. So give a credit to Jason. Jason is fantastic. He helped me out during the whole process. So Jason can help you anytime. So my question to her, 3 things. Number one, if you don't use me as your agent, this is never going to impact our relationship, friendship. Number 2 is your financial situation. I'm not going to disclose it to anyone. It's my profession to keep a secret, keep you confidential for you. And then number 3 is I would be very, very honest. I also actually have number 4. I would be really, really thankful if you gave me this opportunity to let me to practice. I know everyone knows I'm new. I'm not an experienced agent, but I would be very dedicated for you to search the house for you. So just tell me what exactly you want. So I start searching, send them every time. I said, listen, just take a look at it. You don't have to, to buy it from me. And I didn't even sign the agent agreement. I don't know if Jason agreed with that. Until they are ready to sign the contract, then we send the form to them. They said, oh, why you didn't send me in the beginning? I told them I was supposed to send you in the beginning, but I said, I didn't send you because I'm not sure if you want to use me because I'm new. They said, yeah, of course I want to use you. That stuff like that. And then it made it happen. It just under contract. That's my experience. I hope.
Yay.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if, again, I said in the email, and that this was a really great week, and I think there's been a lot of energy this week with you know, both the new agents, who a lot of you guys are on the call, with the experienced people, with again, with Julie doing her first deal, Rudolin got her first listing, Holly, who's an experienced agent but new to Weicker, just got a new listing up in Harlem too. You know, Tanya's running around with people. We've got a lot of great energy going, and again, there's always opportunities for everyone, for the experienced agents, you know, like Suzanne, like Ellen, like other people who are on here, like Leslie. For the new agents, you know, the people who, you know, we've got, I think, Elena's on the call, who started a week ago. Christian's been doing this for about 2 weeks. Tasha, about 2 weeks as well. So we've got a lot of you guys on here. And again, the one thing I can say, and I hope that this kind of conversation that we had today shows it, is that we have an amazing team, right? And we're not, you know, we're Weichered as a team, which I think is a great thing, because we can all help each other out. We can work on deals together. You know, I know if I have a client I need help with in Brooklyn, I know Ellen can help me out, because Ellen knows Brooklyn like the back of her hand, or the Upper West Side, or these other, well, don't make that face, Ellen, she does. Or if we have someone in Westchester, you know, Leslie can help them out. We've got people in New Jersey, we've got Julie, we've got Tom. We've got people in the Hamptons or Long Island. Will can help them. You know, Staten Island. Tanya knows Staten Island. Muchaba knows Staten Island. And again, I think as of this week, I really just realized we can cover anywhere someone who'd want to drive, in like the 2 hours, let's say, circumference, even Connecticut. We do have agents in Connecticut, and Leslie's working on getting her Connecticut license. So we can cover a very large swath of it in these 2 offices. And so I think that's something that I don't think there are many other offices that can say they can do, at least ones that have this kind of camaraderie and teamwork that we have. So anyone else have any questions or anything they want to ask Suzanne, or anything? You know, again, it's
Jason, one
sure.
of the things that I wanted to bring up, and I forgot about, I shouldn't have, is for the newer agents especially, is how do you budget your first year? And I think that's worth an entire another meeting at some point, because it takes, you don't realize it and you're blindsided. You know, it takes a while. Even if you make a deal the first day, it takes a while to get the money in. And so you need a little guidance with that, I think. And I've taught myself how to do that over the years.
That's a great segue. So actually, if this time kind of works for people, my thought is that, again, Fridays around noon, we'll have kind of a dialogue every week, and either have an agent talk about something that they're kind of an expert in, or have someone else come in. And actually, Annabelle has started working with some of the agents who are working with her, talking about budgeting and how to do that. And again, maybe something the two of you could talk about, and we could do next Friday around this time. So that's a great idea, because I think it is important. And again, for experienced agents too, it's, you know, when you do a deal, what do you do with the money, right? We all forget. And I can remember my first year, I was like, wait, I owe what in taxes now? So there are things that you gotta remember to do in this business. So I think that's actually very, very, very smart. So
you actually touched on it also, Susan, a little bit when you spoke about discipline. That impacted me deeply, because one of the challenges as a new agent, or any agent that comes from an environment where you work for someone and you work it for yourself, when you work for someone, you work on a weekly basis and you get a paycheck on every Friday. So you rely on that paycheck. So that discipline is kind of forced onto you, because you can't spend that money until you get it on Friday. When you transition to working for yourself, you kind of got to get that discipline, because if you don't, when the money comes in, by the time it gets here, it's completely gone. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. That transition is challenging.
Yep, that's right. Everything's on you.
Yep.
You're your own company, your own boss, your own employee, your own, you know, everything.
Some days I want to fire myself. Why you spent that money for? But thank you.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for your time. Again, I will be sending out an email either later, probably later today, but latest tomorrow, just with all the guidelines about what we can do starting Monday. Again, always defer to the listing agent, right? They're going to be the ones organizing everything. And so again, if you have a listing, defer to your owner and defer to the board. You know, every building is going to be very different right now, what they're allowing, when they're allowing it, you know, if at all. So just defer to them and defer to the listing agent. And again, if they say, hey, the building's not allowing it, that is most likely the case, because again, they want to show the property. So thank you guys so much. Have an amazing weekend. If you need anything, feel free to reach out. And again, we've got starting showings on Monday, and let me know when else supposed to come up again. So
Thanks, Jason, for everything.
Have a great
Thank you, Jason. Thank you.